The chapter begins with a group of girls discussing what they want to do after the end of the world. One says she wants to live an ordinary life. Another hopes to return to her hometown and raise horses. One dreams of opening a food stall, while a maid quietly states she just wants to protect those close to her. All eyes turn to the protagonist, Kotoha, and they ask what he wants to do once the world ends. As he opens his mouth to answer, the scene shifts to a ship sailing across the sea. On board, a man tells Kotoha that politicians and mafia groups across Mexico fear a certain 17-year-old boy, a boy known by the infamous title, the hidden devil of the whispering blood, Whisperer. The man explains that the organization has already labeled him a threat and there are plans to sell him to America. Kotoha smiles and casually asks if the boss's nephew asked him to say that. Rafa, the man, asks how he can be so calm. But Kotoha knows that even begging for his life is meaningless. His title alone has doomed him. Rafa mentions that maybe his uncle might change his mind, but when Kotoha activates his ability and peers into Rafa's mind, he knows it's a lie. He reflects on what he is, a devil who reads the hearts of others to uncover the truth. That's why he's wearing handcuffs with GPS, surrounded by 80 armed mafia members, and trapped in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. There is no escape. He glances at the corpse beside him. Begging won't help. His fate is sealed. Rafa sighs and offers him a piece of candy, saying the boat trip will be long. Kotoha thinks Rafa is too kind to be a bad guy. As he takes the candy, his mind drifts back to how it all started. 2 years ago, he was just a second-year student. On his way home, he was kidnapped and taken to Mexico. Since then, he's been forced to use his powers as a tool, a slave who exposes people's hearts. He can't fully control his ability, but when he focuses on someone's heart, he can read their true intentions. If things had gone differently, maybe he would have just been a normal high schooler. Suddenly, the corpse beside him moves. A girl speaks, asking for the candy. Kotoha is shocked. She's alive. She opens her mouth and tells him to hurry. Still blushing, he leans in and gives her the candy with his mouth, kissing her in the process. As they part, he reflects that he never thought his first kiss would happen like this. The girl thanks him with a bright smile. Kotoha, still flustered, asks if she's part of the mafia. She calmly replies that she's a demon lord, captured because she made too many enemies across too many places. Kotoha freezes. A demon lord? What is she even talking about? This isn't a light novel. There's no way someone like that actually exists. He decides she's probably just another broken person and closes his eyes to sleep. But suddenly she kisses him again, returning part of the candy. Kotoha blushes and tells her she didn't need to give it back. She says she's recovered enough now and is glad he was there for her in such a desperate moment. Thanks to him, she can keep fighting. He tells her that sounds like a line from a light novel. She tilts her head in confusion at the term, so he explains, light novels are youth stories, often illustrated, where even everyday life feels like a dream. She listens intently, then asks him what his dream is. He hesitates, then admits he wants to experience youth like a light novel protagonist. He says it's a stupid dream, but she tells him it's not. She understands. Her earlier kiss, she says, was just her playing the role of the heroine. Kotoha blushes harder, and she giggles. Dreams, she tells him, are the best. They fill you with hope. If they can get out of here, she's sure their dreams will come true. Kotoha looks down and replies that dreams are pointless. They're called dreams because they're out of reach. She looks surprised. Why give up so easily? She says she won't. Not when she has a dream too. Her face lights up with a hopeful expression. But before she can go on, the mafia members return. Noticing the strange closeness between them, one of the men grabs the girl off the floor. Kotoha tries to defend her but is quickly beaten down. The man tells him not to get cocky and threatens to torture him again. Kotoha clenches his teeth, remembering the pain of past punishments. The girl, however, tells him it's fine. Then, in an instant, the mafia member's arm is sliced off. Kotoha can't even process what just happened. The man screams in agony. He asks the girl what she is. She smiles and declares that she is the demon lord. Black shadows erupt around her. She says she is the one who will never be defeated, the one who opposes the world, the warrior who doesn't bend to the light. Then she attacks. Most of the mafia are killed instantly, and the ship is heavily damaged. Kotoha can't understand what he's seeing. The shadows move impossibly fast. The girl continues her speech. She wants to destroy the world. The universe is so annoying. If everything disappeared, that would be great. Now free from her restraints, she turns to Kotoha and reveals her true dream, the destruction of the universe. Kotoha, still stunned, asks what she really is. His ability activates again, and suddenly he's overwhelmed by the screams of everyone who died. Their suffering floods his mind. and he collapses, screaming. The girl looks at him and realizes he's one of them, a monster, someone who tried to become human but couldn't. She casts a shadow spell toward him, saying it will free him. She believes dreams will come true. She summons a massive creature behind her and says that no matter the cost, she'll never give up, even in the face of despair. Then she asks him what he will do. Kotoha says nothing at first. Then finally he admits it. He's weak. He gives up too quickly. He let despair consume him. She responds that fate and reality no longer matter. His heart already gave him the answer. He has a dream he wants to chase. He looks at her, mesmerized by her smile. She says he's not a slave to fate. He must fight back with everything he has. From this moment forward, this is the start of his light novel story. She says it's a competition now. Who will reach their dream first? Will Kotoha find youth, or will she meet her end first? As she waves goodbye, she tells him to do his best, even if they're enemies. Tears fall from Kotoha's eyes as he sinks into the sea. The ship crumbles above him. He finally understands the demon lord, why she shined so brightly. She never gave up hope. She kept smiling. She was someone who made her dreams come true. He calls himself an idiot, but even idiots can dream. He doesn't want despair to take that from him. He swims upward, thinking about how he wants to live, how he wants to change, to grow stronger, to become a normal student, to fall in love, make friends, and follow his dreams. But just as he reaches the surface, massive waves crash around him. He cries. He realizes he was never able to do anything. As the waves begin to drag him down, he wonders if resisting earlier would have changed things. He makes one final promise. If he gets another chance, he'll never give up again. Far away, the demon lord watches. Light begins to shine around him. She mutters that their battle has now begun, and she won't interfere. This is fate. She wonders what kind of ending he will reach. Surrounded by darkness, Kotoha says to himself, this time, he will be the protagonist of the light novel he always admired. Suddenly, he opens his eyes. A maid stands in front of him in a glowing temple. He asks if she's an angel. She replies no, she's just a maid, and welcomes him to the Temple of Fate and the goddess of reincarnation. As we transition into the next chapter, we see a flashback between Kotoha and his teacher. He remembers being abandoned at a temple as a child. The head priest, a former boxer, took him in and raised him, reminding him to stay pure no matter how cruel the world became. That warmth remains etched in Kotoha's heart. But now, captured by the mafia, Kotoha lies broken. He apologizes to his grandfather. He tried to resist, but the torture broke him. He failed to keep their promise. Back at the temple, Kotoha is summoned. Confused, he wonders if he's dreaming. Not long ago, he was drowning in the ocean, but now he's standing in a goddess's temple. A maid appears and introduces herself as Luna. She will escort him to the goddess. As they walk up the stairs, the goddess appears and introduces herself as Berzione. She tells Kotoha she summoned him to grant a wish. She reveals a portal showing a battle between heroes and monsters. She says she has watched him and seen his courage. She wants him to save the world she loves. Kotoha realizes this is a reincarnation offer, a chance to start over. The goddess chuckles, saying young people catch on quick. She offers him a choice of any skill from a massive collection. Kotoha is stunned. It feels real, like a true opportunity to change his fate. He asks for time to think. She agrees, telling him to take all the time he needs. Later, Kotoha and Luna gaze out at the sea. He asks if people like him come often. Luna says the goddess picks someone every 4 to 5 months, though she's very picky. She reveals she knows about his ability. Kotoha is surprised and asks how. Luna explains the goddess can see anyone's full life story. He asks if she knows what he did for the mafia. She says he didn't have a choice. Kotoha clenches his fists, haunted by the past. He's not surprised he wasn't sent straight to hell. Luna senses his guilt and tells him not to think too much. He had no choice. She pats his head gently, telling him to stop thinking about sad things. Kotoha tries to respond. His ability activates, and he hears her thoughts. Even after all he's been through, she thinks he deserves happiness. Her kindness reminds him of his master. He asks if it's okay for someone like him to be happy. Luna blushes, caught off guard. He continues, no one's wished him happiness in a long time, but thanks to her, he won't give in to despair. He'll chase his dreams and right the wrongs of his past. He asks if she'll keep watching over him. She agrees. She'll cheer him on. It's her job as an adult to do so. Later, at the dimensional gate, the goddess asks if he's ready. Kotoha says he is, and that he doesn't want any skills. He just wants a normal youth. The goddess smiles and accepts his choice. She says she'll remove his ability to help him live normally. She wishes him luck and tells Luna to send him off as well. As Kotoha waves goodbye, his ability suddenly activates. He hears Luna's thoughts, telling him not to go through that door, it's a trap and the goddess is lying. The goddess asks what's wrong, but Luna's thoughts echo louder, telling him not to trust her. The goddess looks at Luna suspiciously. Luna stares at Kotoha and says, being forced or choosing doesn't matter. It's the same. She wants to be good, just like him. The goddess summons a massive chunk of rubble above Luna. Kotoha tries to stop it, but it's too late. Luna, with tears in her eyes, tells him to run. The rubble crashes down. Luna is gone. The goddess laughs. She never liked Luna, but kept her around for amusement. She says people like Kotoha are always interesting until they break. Black tentacles slither from the portal. The voices of past pioneers fill Kotoha's head. Their souls are trapped in eternal sleep, while the goddess uses their powers. She moves toward him, telling him to come dream with her. A tentacle latches onto his arm. It explodes in pain. She says his body is melting. Soon, only his soul will remain. He should give up. This isn't fair, Kotoha screams. It's just like before. Why does it always end this way? The goddess says this is fate. It cannot be changed. His hope was an illusion. Did he really think he was a hero? Tears fall. Kotoha begins to accept his end, but suddenly a girl crashes into the goddess, freeing him. Kotoha looks up, stunned. The attacker is a young girl with long ears, wielding a guitar weapon. The goddess, enraged, prepares to destroy her, but the girl dodges with her guitar like a glider and lands a blow on the goddess's head. Two other girls rush in, asking Kotoha if he's okay. They tell him their captain doesn't hold back. The battle continues. The goddess demands to know who they are. The girl launches a final attack, destroying the goddess in a burst of light. Kotoha, speechless, realizes that fate can be changed. They fight for dreams. He asks who they are. The girl with the guitar answers. They are members of the Apocalypse Stagnation Committee, an organization that takes up arms to fight the end of the world and protect everyone's dreams.